The stars are really shining tonight, and that's with Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Milwaukee and Phoenix, the Bucks going for the first championship since 1971. And Gary, there's a chance they could have their MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo was upgraded from doubtful to questionable this afternoon as he continues around-the-clock treatment on that left knee that was hyperextended, missed the last 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals. So as we sit here now on a Tuesday evening, how dominant will this storyline be, not just tonight in this game, but really over the course of the series for Milwaukee, that being Giannis's health?
Yeah, it's the biggest question connected to this game, to this series, to the rest of this NBA postseason. When will Giannis play? Will Giannis play? I think the answer to that second question is yes. He appears capable, or at least on the verge of playing at some point in this series. But the big question remains, will he be available in Game 1? Like you accurately noted, they have upgraded him from doubtful to questionable. That's an encouraging sign if you're a Milwaukee fan. But it is worth noting, just because you're healthy enough to play doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy enough to play well. We saw that with Trae Young. We saw that with Anthony Davis. We saw that with LeBron James in these playoffs. So I'm skeptical that he'll be his usual overwhelming self, even if he is in uniform on the court. But still, to have him is much better than to not have him.
No doubt. Any version of Giannis in this game is a positive for Milwaukee. And we're going to attack this matchup from every angle, but let's flip it to the Suns and their star in Chris Paul, making his finals debut at the back end of his career. It's something that's been missing from his resume. He finally achieves it. What best describes, though, Gary, the impact that Chris Paul has had on this organization in his first season?
Well, he turned a loser into a winner, and not just a winner, but a championship contender. This is a guy who, regardless of whether he ever got to this point or not, was going to go down in history as one of the all-time great point guards. But in the NBA, a championship is such a big part of your legacy. If you've got it, people think of you one way. If you don't have it, people often think of you another way. And now Chris Paul not only is in a position to get a ring, but he's the favorite to get the ring, given that Phoenix has been fabulous in this postseason, and obviously the injury concerns connected to Milwaukee's best player. And so I think Chris Paul gained a lot of respect among basketball fans when he was traded to Oklahoma City, surrounded by not a lot of great pieces, and still was able to make that franchise respectable, as opposed to, I don't know, like some stars might have done, just refused to show up until he was traded. He did the best he could do with that team, then landed in Phoenix. And now, again, he's just 4 wins away from joining a club that would identify him forever as an NBA champ.
Yeah, you mentioned favorites. Also in most sports books, Chris Paul is your favorite to take home Finals MVP. And if he's going to do so, he's going to need the help of the 2 youngsters on either side of him, and that's Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. And I'm always sort of interested, Gary, early on in a finals to see how younger players handle the moment. Both these guys have not shied away from the spotlight up to this point, but as we kick things off, the lights are a bit brighter. Expectations from your perspective for what these 2 will bring?
I've seen nothing this postseason that suggests they're not built for it. I mean, you got to remember, these aren't just current NBA stars. These are guys who have been, basketball stars in a variety of ways since they were teenagers. Both were 5-star prospects. One played at Arizona, one played at Kentucky. You don't get on bigger stages than those stages at the collegiate level. And so now here they are, still early, relatively speaking, in their NBA careers, but in a position to help a franchise win its first world title in history. And, whether it's Booker making key jumpers in the final minute or Ayton, catching a lob in the final second to win games this postseason, they have shown, I think, that they are ready for this moment. I'll be surprised if both of them don't play well. And if they both play well along with Chris Paul, then I'll be surprised if Phoenix doesn't start this series up 1-0.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Ayton to beat the valley-oop that he had in the last series, but we'll see what he has in store. Back to Milwaukee, though, Gary, and it's not necessarily, other than maybe Chris Middleton, the star power of Booker and Ayton, but Giannis has a supporting cast that proved themselves very worthy in that win over the Hawks, and that would be Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez. Is the reality similar in this series as you view it from what that group will bring, whether Giannis is in the lineup or not?
Well, I'm not sure that Milwaukee can win this season, can win this series without Giannis playing at some point. The goal should be just stay alive until Giannis is healthy enough to contribute and push you toward that world championship. But undeniably, the supporting cast is going to have to step up in his absence. During the regular season, Milwaukee only had 2 players average at least 18 points per game, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton. In their first game against the Hawks without Giannis, they had 4 players score at least 22. They are capable of being more balanced and similarly dangerous even without their MVP. And they're going to have to be to have a shot. But ultimately, if Milwaukee's going to win a championship here, it is probably going to have to be the 2-time MVP getting healthy enough to play well and play a lot of minutes.
Not the series many saw coming when the playoffs started, but it's the one we got, and it's full of storylines. Staying in the NBA, and with an organization and a team that the Bucks knocked off to get to the finals, the Atlanta Hawks named Nate McMillan their full-time head coach, getting rid of that interim tag. Obviously, he guided this team in the right direction down the stretch, Gary. But what did you see that you think the Hawks organization and brass saw to make Nate the guy here moving forward?
Well, he inherited a team that was 14-20, stuck in 11th in the East, and he took over for Lloyd Pierce and changed things almost immediately. They closed the season going 27-11. They finished 5th in the East, and then they advanced all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. So if you're a front office, a big part of being an effective head coach in the NBA is, can you get your players to believe in you and to believe in themselves and to believe in each other? And I think that was the biggest thing that Nate McMillan was able to bring to Atlanta. He got those players to believe in him. He got them to believe in themselves, and he got them to believe in each other. He identified roles, and then people flourished in those roles, whether it was Trae Young being the star or John Collins being a supporting piece. And so there was no doubt that Atlanta was going to do what it had to do to lock Nate McMillan up to a long-term contract, and it should be no surprise they got it done rather quickly.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially when you think about what Trae Young did over that course of stretch that you so well described. All right, to your second passion, baseball, Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani made history, becoming the first player to be named as an All-Star as both a pitcher and a player from the field as a hitter. Incredible what he's been able to do, and he takes the mound tonight. So I'm hopeful for your sake that you got the multi-screens going for, as you mentioned, a big sports night here.
I promise you, multi-screens, NBA Finals on one, Mets Brewers on one, and Shohei on another. 3.60 ERA, 83 strikeouts in 60 innings. He's an all-star pitcher who's also leading the major leagues in home runs with 31. He's first in homers, third in RBI, third in OPS, just an amazing talent who is having an incredible season. Tonight's going to be his last start on the mound before the All-Star break, so he'll be well rested in advance of the All-Star game. And the plan is to pitch him, play him in the field, and let him hit. The only question is, in what order are we going to do it? And he's also going to be in the home run derby, so Shohei Ohtani is going to be the biggest attraction at the All-Star game next week in Denver, and hopefully he does something, whether it's at the plate or on the mound, that gives us one of those all-star memories that last forever.
He's living up to the hype, and he's got me excited about baseball, which is something that very few players have been able to do. Welcome back. It's been a busy offseason for the Packers quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And while his future with the organization, Gary, is in question at this point, one thing that's not in question is that Aaron Rodgers has made it very clear that he is taking time to make sure he is as healthy as he can be, both physically and mentally, something he pointed to while promoting The Match recently, a golf match that should be a lot of fun this evening with Phil Mickelson, Bryson DeChambeau, and Tom Brady. Do you read anything further in the latest comments from Rodgers?
Well, first and foremost, I would just say that, any public figure willing to talk openly about his struggles with mental health and confronting issues should be applauded. Once upon a time, this was something people just did not talk about. And now, whether it's Kevin Love, Naomi Osaka, or Aaron Rodgers, more and more celebrity athletes are comfortable speaking about this publicly. And and they are to be commended. Obviously, I hope he finds whatever piece it is he's looking for. But one point I thought he made that is important to understand is that, sometimes when you talk about mental health, people take it to the extreme. The truth is, you can be battling mental health issues and not on the verge of ending your life or harming yourself, just not feeling right or the way you think you ought to feel. And that seems to be where Aaron Rodgers is. And again, he's addressing it. He's talking about it openly, and I hope he finds the answers he's searching for. As for what it means for his playing future, I have no idea. He seems to be enjoying this offseason, working on himself, traveling the world with his fiance, playing golf with Bryson DeChambeau. He seems pretty dug in. And I know that he has multiple times said he doesn't have an issue with his front office. I don't know anybody that actually believes that that's true. And so Green Bay has got a real decision to make here. Are they going to continue to stare him down? Because undeniably, Aaron Rodgers is in a stare down situation with the Green Bay front office right now, and he doesn't look to me like a guy who's prepared to blink.
Yeah, still a lot to be decided here when it comes to this story. Now to the business side of football, Gary. Today, N'Keal Harry's agent making it clear that they have requested a trade from the New England Patriots. The former first-round pick has not lived up to expectations. On the surface here, does this to you look like he just needs to go to a different environment to find success? Or is there more to this?
Well, he might just need a fresh start somewhere. But the truth is, he's a former first-round pick who's only caught 45 balls through his first 2 seasons and is way down the depth chart in New England, like a number 4 or number 5 role. So perhaps a fresh start will do him well. But this isn't just about a lack of targets. If you're a former first-round pick who's struggling to be a top 3 option for the franchise that drafted you, some of this is on you.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.